The recruiter finds you in the market square, Ostia, 102 AD. You're 16, maybe 17. Birth records in your family don't exist. He's looking for bodies, or the Legion needs numbers before the next campaign season, and you fit the basic requirements. 2 arms, 2 legs, no obvious deformities, most of your teeth. He asks if you can march 20 miles. You've never walked 20 miles consecutively in your life, but you say yes because the alternative is another year hauling amphorae at the docks for wages that barely cover rent in a city that gets more expensive every month. Your father did the same work, died doing it actually, when a rope snapped and half a ton of olive oil crushed him against a wall. You were 12. The recruiter offers a signing bonus, 25 denarii paid immediately. It's more money than you've seen in one place. You take it. Your mother cries when you tell her, not because you're leaving, but because she already knows what the legions do to boys who think 25 denarii is wealth. The march to the training camp at Lambasis takes 11 days. You're grouped with 40 other recruits, farm boys from Umbria, a blacksmith's son from Gaul, 2 brothers from Hispania who speak Latin with an accent so thick you can barely understand them. None of you know what you've signed up for. You'll learn. Training starts before dawn. The instructors are all veterans, men with scars that tell stories they never speak aloud. They don't teach you to fight, not at first. They teach you to suffer correctly. You march in formation for hours. Full pack, 60 pounds of equipment that digs into shoulders that haven't developed the muscle to carry it yet. When someone falls out of line, everyone stops. Everyone waits while the instructors make an example that involves significantly more pain than the original failure warranted. You learn not to fall out of line. Weapons training comes next. They hand you a gladius, the standard issue short sword, weighted with lead to twice its normal mass. You practice the thrust, just the thrust. Stab forward from the shoulder, withdraw, reset. Thousands of repetitions until your arm goes numb. The instructor walks behind you and corrects your form with a wooden rod across your back when you drift even slightly from the prescribed motion. You're not learning to duel. You're learning to be a component in a machine. One man in a line of men, each performing the identical movement in perfect synchronization. Individual skill matters less than collective precision. The shield drill breaks men faster than anything else. The scutum weighs 22 pounds. You hold it extended for as long as the instructor demands, which is always longer than your muscles can sustain. Your arm shakes. The shield drops. The rod comes down. You raise the shield again. After 6 weeks, something changes, not suddenly, but you notice it one morning when you wake up and your body doesn't scream in protest anymore. The pack weight feels distributed properly. The march rhythm is automatic. Your hands have developed calluses in exactly the right places. They issue you real equipment, a gladius without lead weighting, armor that actually fits, a scutum with your centuries insignia painted on the front, red and gold, the colors of the 6th Legion Ferrata. You're not a recruit anymore, you're a Miles Gregarious, a common legionary, the lowest rank in the entire Roman military structure. Your century is 80 men commanded by a centurion named Cursor. He earned the name because he's fast, not in movement, but in punishment. Infractions are dealt with immediately and publicly. A legionary caught sleeping on watch gets beaten with vine staffs in front of the entire unit. Not enough to cripple him, just enough to ensure he never does it again and everyone else takes the lesson. The legion moves north toward the Dacian frontier. You march 15 miles per day, sometimes 20 when the schedule demands it. The roads are Roman construction, perfectly straight, graded for drainage. Your boots wear down anyway. You learn to repair them while walking, leather strips and bronze tacks pulled from your pack without breaking stride. Camp construction happens every single night, even when you're 20 miles from the nearest enemy. The entire legion digs a defensive perimeter, 6,000 men moving dirt in coordinated shifts. Ramparts, ditches, palisade walls, gates positioned at cardinal points. A temporary fortress that could withstand a siege built in 4 hours, abandoned at dawn. You're assigned to a contubernium, an 8-man tent group. These men become closer than family because they're the ones who pull you out of a shield wall when you go down. There's Decimus, a veteran of 3 campaigns who sleeps with a dagger under his pillow and wakes up swinging if you approach too quickly. There's Gaius, who joined because his village couldn't pay its grain tax and the legion offered debt forgiveness. There's Titus, who can't read but somehow always knows which officers are worth respecting and which ones will get you killed through incompetence. You share everything: food, equipment, the watch rotation, the knowledge of who snores and who talks in their sleep about women they'll never see again. When your boot sole detaches completely on a river crossing, Titus gives you his spare without asking for payment. When Gaius takes fever and can't carry his pack, the load gets distributed across 7 men instead of 8. Nobody discusses it, it just happens. The Dacians hit your column on a morning that starts like every other morning. No warning, no scouts reporting movement. They simply emerge from a tree line 400 yards distant and begin moving toward your position in a mass that doesn't resemble any formation you've been trained to recognize. The centurion's whistle cuts through the morning air. 3 short blasts. Battle formation. Your body responds before your mind fully processes the command. Shield up, gladius drawn. Move into position with the 7 men who've been drilling this exact sequence for months. The Dacians close the distance. You can see individual faces now, hear them shouting in a language that sounds like rocks grinding together. Your hands are shaking. The shield suddenly weighs 50 pounds. Decimus is beside you in the formation. He says one thing, quiet enough that only you hear it. Hold your line. Just hold your line. The first impact hits like a physical wall. The shield wall absorbs the collision. Metal on wood. Bodies compressed into a single mass where individual movement becomes impossible. You can't see anything except the rim of your shield and the wild-eyed face of a Dacian warrior trying to hook it downward with a curved blade. Your gladius moves in the space between shields, short, upward thrusts into the gap. You don't aim for anything specific. The press of bodies is too tight for precision. You just push the blade forward into resistance that's sometimes leather, sometimes flesh, sometimes nothing but air. The man in front of you drops. Another takes his place instantly. The Dacian line doesn't break. It compresses harder, pushing against your formation with the weight of bodies behind bodies. Your left arm is screaming. The shield takes impacts you don't see coming. Axes, swords, rocks, everything hitting the curved surface while your shoulder socket grinds against the pressure. Decimus kills methodically beside you. Thrust, withdraw, step, thrust. No wasted energy, no emotion visible on his face. Just mechanical repetition that keeps the man in front of him from getting through. You try to copy the rhythm. Stop thinking. Just move with the pattern the training drilled into your muscles. The Dacian assault breaks after 20 minutes. Not a rout. They withdraw in stages, pulling back to the tree line while your centurion screams at the formation to hold position. Nobody pursues. Pursuit breaks the line, and breaking the line gets you killed when they regroup and hit the scattered remnants. You lower your shield. Your arm won't straighten completely. The leather straps have cut grooves into your forearm deep enough to bleed. Gaius is on the ground, 3 men to your right, not dead, wounded. A gash across his thigh that's pumping blood in rhythm with his heartbeat. The Capsarius, the unit medic, is already there with linen strips and bronze forceps, working with speed that suggests that isn't his first arterial bleed. The battlefield smells like copper and bowels. Men lose control when they die. Nobody mentioned that in training. The smell gets into your nostrils and stays there for days. That night, Gaius dies anyway, not from the leg wound. Infection. It moves faster than anyone expected. He's coherent at sunset, talking about his village. By midnight, he's burning with fever and speaking to people who aren't there. By dawn, he's gone. You dig the grave yourself, all 8 of you, except now you're 7. The hole goes down 4 feet into rocky soil that fights the shovel with every thrust. Gaius gets wrapped in his cloak and lowered without ceremony. The centurion says words you don't hear. Your hands are blistering from the shovel work, and you're watching Titus's face, which hasn't changed expression since Gaius stopped breathing. The legion absorbs the loss and continues north. Replacement arrives within a week. His name is Sextus. He's young, maybe 17, from a family with enough money to buy better equipment than standard issue. He tries to be friendly. The tent group is polite and distant. You'll learn who Sextus actually is over months, not days. Trust isn't given. It's accumulated through shared misery. Dacia becomes a series of identical days. March, dig, fortify, sleep, repeat. Occasionally, the Dacians probe the column, small skirmishes that end without decisive results. You're learning to read terrain differently now, not as landscape, but as tactical geometry. That hill provides high ground. That river limits cavalry approach. That forest offers ambush opportunities from 3 vectors. The siege begins in late summer. A Dacian fortress built into a mountain slope. Stone walls 30 feet high. Water source inside the perimeter. The legion surrounds it and begins the methodical process of reduction. You're assigned to siege works. 12-hour shifts, digging approach trenches that zigzag toward the walls, designed to prevent enfilade fire from catching men in straight lines. The soil is rocky. Progress is measured in feet per day. Artillery moves into position. Ballistae that launch bolts capable of punching through 2 men. Onagers that hurl stones the size of a human head in arcs that seem impossible, until you watch one hit the fortress wall and crack the masonry. The Dacians return fire, arrows, rocks, burning pitch that sticks to whatever it touches and keeps burning. A month into the siege, the walls are breached, not collapsed, just cracked enough that assault becomes viable. Your century is selected for the first wave. Nobody celebrates the honor. The assault goes at dawn. Ladders against walls, shields overhead against the rocks, and oil the defenders drop. You climb with your gladius clenched in your teeth because both hands are needed for the ladder rungs. The man above you takes an arrow through the neck and falls backward. You press yourself flat against the ladder while his body tumbles past. The top of the wall is chaos compressed into 10 feet of stone walkway. No formations, no tactics. Just individual fights in spaces too small for anything except the shortest blades. You kill a man whose face you'll remember for the rest of your life. Young, terrified, swinging a club with technique that suggests he's a farmer, not a soldier. Your gladius finds the gap under his ribs. He looks surprised. That's what stays with you, not the violence, but the surprise. The fortress falls by midday. The survivors surrender. The Legion takes what's valuable and burns the rest. You've been in Dacia for 8 months. The campaign continues for another year. More marches, more skirmishes, more nights in temporary fortresses that get built and abandoned with mechanical efficiency. Decimus rotates out after his 25 years. He walks away with his discharge bonus and a land grant somewhere in Gaul. Doesn't say goodbye, just nods once and leaves. Titus dies in a river crossing, not combat. The current takes him, and the weight of his equipment pulls him under before anyone can reach him. You watch it happen from 30 feet away, unable to move fast enough through water that's chest deep and moving like a living thing. Sextus becomes a veteran. The friendly kid from a wealthy family turns into someone who sleeps with a dagger and wakes up swinging. The tent group accepts him fully the day he pulls you out of a collapsing trench and doesn't mention it afterward. Your enlistment ends after 25 years of this. You survive. That's not an achievement. That's probability playing out over enough iterations. You walk away with land, citizenship, and a body that works differently than it did at 17. The scars are visible. The rest stays inside, carried quietly through whatever comes next. You're 42 years old, standing in a field outside Narbo that belongs to you now. Paid for in Dacian blood and 25 years of holding the line. The land doesn't know what it cost. Neither does anyone who wasn't there. You plant grain in soil that's never seen a gladius, and some mornings your shoulder still remembers the weight of the shield, the impact that never really stops echoing. The empire built itself on men like you, one march at a time, one shield wall at a time, one body that survived when probability said it shouldn't. That was the price. That's what it took.